DJI has added all sorts of intelligent features to the Mini 4 Pro. The most powerful one is Waypoints, a very sought after mode, previously reserved for the flagship model. In this video I will show you how to make the most of Waypoint missions, for moves that are very difficult to perform manually, and to repeat the same mission at different times of the day or in different seasons. There are two ways to create a Waypoint mission: on location by flying over the desired route to enter the different points, or remotely by entering the points on the map. All the usual settings for video can be used with Waypoint mode, including different resolutions, frame rates, and the three color profiles: normal, D-Log-M and HLG. This can be useful to adapt the footage to the color scheme of a specific project. We access Waypoint mode by tapping on the icon on the left part of the screen, just above the one for taking off. I always use the first method, as I can check if there are obstacles. It is much faster and more precise. I will not describe here the second method, the one consisting in setting points on a map, as I don't find it very effective. I want to show this village on the foothills of Mount Etna in Sicily, with a top-down view, and then progressively descend and move to the left, while the camera pans to the right to frame Mount Etna. So I fly to the right of the village at medium altitude, framing the central square. A window in the lower part of the screen suggests hitting the C1 button of the RC2 controller to set the first point. Users with the RCN2 controller should use the FN button. The first point is set. I then fly to the left to have the center of the village in the middle of the frame, rise to the maximum altitude, and get closer for a top-down view. If I open the small window on the screen, I can visualize existing point or add a new one by tapping on the first available one, in this case point number 2. Then I fly backward and to the left while descending, and move the camera slightly to the right toward the mountain. I can set the third point here. Finally I move to the left and lower the altitude. In this case I accidentally hit the C1 button, creating a waypoint that I don't need. So I open the small window and tap on point number 4. A window will open with all the data relative to this point, and I can delete it by tapping on the dustbin icon on the top left of the window. If we leave the window open while entering the points, we can check the expected duration of the flight, the distance to be traveled, and the number of points forming the mission. All useful info. Now I can tilt the camera to frame Mount Etna and set the fourth and last point. Once all the points have been entered, it is possible to save the mission, to use it on other occasions, and this is a major strong point of Waypoints, as we can repeat the same mission to optimize it with small changes, get the perfect exposure, or capture the same scene at different times of the day or in different seasons. To save a mission, tap on the icon at the top left of the small window. It is also possible to name the mission by tapping on the pencil icon. By watching the clip, I immediately notice a major improvement. The transition between each point is now very smooth, and the segments in between are turned into gentle curves for a much more pleasing effect. In previous models, the same transitions caused abrupt change in direction. A mission is created by flying to each point and recording it. The location of the point, the altitude, and the camera orientation will be stored in memory for each point. The software will handle a smooth transition between each point. Let's see how it works with an example. If we open the map by hitting the icon on the bottom left of the screen and start the waypoint mission, we get an excellent overview of the itinerary with the different points. Notice how the transition between points is turned into a very gentle curve. Each point shows the altitude and the orientation of the camera. The distance between each point is also shown. I can see that in this clip the speed is way too slow, so I put the Mini 4 Pro back in the air. I choose waypoint mode by tapping on the icon on the left and I summon the save mission. By tapping on the three dots on the right part of the window, I access the setting to be applied to the whole mission. Here I can specify the global speed. I want to increase it dramatically, something around 9 meters per second. At the top of the window, the resulting length of the clip is shown, and at this speed the clip will be 30 seconds long, which should be fine. In the same window, we can choose the action to be taken at the end of the flight and in case of signal loss. I leave them both to return to home. It is also possible to start the mission from other points, but I prefer to leave it on point 1. The speed is now much faster, exactly what I was looking for. Notice that we are not accelerating the clip, we are simply increasing the speed of the aircraft. Moving elements like cars or people working remain at their natural speed. The light conditions are horrible. We are in the middle of a sunny day, the worst possible time to shoot footage. Also, the sun is in front of the camera. The shadows are extremely harsh, it looks very bad, but this is not a major issue. Since our mission is stored in memory, we can reshoot it in better light conditions. So I put the drone back in the air after sunset, with some twilight still on. Much better light conditions. I summon the same mission for another go, and now the light is much more pleasing, with nice, softer shadows. During the winter there are often some very interesting cloud formations above Mount Etna, so it would be a good idea to tilt the camera up slightly. I select the last point of the mission, and the window shows the setting for that point. I go to Gimbal Tilt and turn the value up. There are several other settings for each point. We can specify a camera action for the point, choosing between Take photo, start recording, stop recording, or none. For videography, it is in general a good idea to set the first point to start recording and the last one to stop recording. It is also possible to modify other values for the same point: the altitude, the speed, and the camera orientation. It is also possible to add some digital zoom, or have the drone hovering for a specified amount of time. This is handy for fine-tuning a mission when needed. Now, at the end of the clip, we can see a bigger portion of the sky above Mount Etna. The next morning I have another go. This time the sun is behind the camera and the result is quite good. Although it would have been better a couple of hours earlier, or with the sun covered by clouds. But the beauty of a Waypoint mission is that it can be repeated until we obtain the perfect result. In most cases for videography, we only need a limited amount of points, generally at most 4. An exception is when we want to follow a path, like a river or a twisting road. Examples of applications where a larger amount of points are needed are when following the progress of a building site, or inspections for agriculture or manufacturing. Click on this link to watch my video about Spotlight mode with the Mini 4 Pro. And don't forget to hit the like button if you find this video interesting. Thank you.